Hi everyone, my name is Mejer. I'm an immigration attorney and an immigrant. On today's video, I'm going to update you on what is happening in the US immigration because it is changing every single day. Let me introduce myself. As I said, I'm Mejer. I'm an immigrant and an immigration attorney. One of the reasons I became an immigration attorney is because my immigrant journey was not stress-free and was not easy. I came to the US without being able to speak English. My family paid an attorney to get us legal status, and that attorney didn't do that. We lived for years without legal status. We were able to get legal status through amnesty. So I truly know how exciting that sounds for many today. And after I went to law school, I decided the best way to help people was to make it so they had the stress-free, easy immigration journey I wish my family had. If you need help with your immigration matter, call us. We can't and won't help everyone who calls us, but we also won't take your money if we can't help you. If you find this video informative, please subscribe to our channel and hit the bell so you're notified whenever we post a new video. First, let's talk about the things that President Biden has done for immigration in his first few weeks in office. He said DACA will remain in place. This is good news because, as I mentioned in another video, Chad Wolf resigned as the acting head of DHS and then tried to pass his policies, one of which was to end DACA, in a different position within DHS. Not only is DACA in place, but you can apply for advanced parole today if you have DACA, and that might help you get legal entry to the US, which helps you when you apply for legal status. Deportations were paused for 100 days, with some exceptions. There was a lawsuit fighting this filed in Texas, claiming that the 100-day moratorium would cause irreparable harm to Texas. The judge said he thought it actually would cause harm, so he issued a nationwide injunction on the 26th of January for 2 weeks. This means that deportations can continue. This is an interesting set of circumstances, and we will be following it as it develops. What I will recommend is if you have a deportation order or you are in removal proceedings, do not put off speaking to a qualified immigration attorney. It can mean the literal difference between staying in the country or being forced out. Travel bans barring entry for individuals from Muslim and African countries were revoked, but there have also been more restrictions on travel into the US due to COVID. So be aware that there is still limited entry into the United States. DED, Deferred Enforced Departure, was extended for Liberian nationals until June 30th, 2022. Enrollment in the Migrant Protection Protocols, the MPP, or the Stay in Mexico policy, was suspended. Despite that, so far, no news on how their entry will be handled, especially with COVID limiting entry. Biden issued a review of all DHS policies, and he's shifted the focus of ICE from enforcement back to protection. So protecting the US rather than just deportation and deportation only. January 29th was the day for President Biden to focus on immigration changes. He created a task force to review family reunification and to review the public charge. His goal, he said, is to remove barriers and restore trust in the legal immigration system, including the naturalization process. We have been asked over and over on our channels about the family travel ban. When we made this video, nothing has changed. It was still in place. Now, this can change from one day to the next. If it does, we will certainly update you. Let me talk more about COVID travel ban that was issued by President Biden on January 25th, 2021, which extends indefinitely. This impacts travelers flying in from many countries. Those flying from China and Iran were already prohibited from entering the United States. The entry into the United States as immigrants or non-immigrants of non-citizens who were physically present within the Schengen area. This includes 26 European countries. So this is a travel ban that affects people who are coming into the United States from the Schengen area, which is 26 European countries, the United Kingdom, excluding overseas territories out of Europe. the Republic of Ireland, the Federative Republic of Brazil, and the Republic of South Africa during the 14-day period preceding their entry or attempted entry to the United States is suspended and limited. Basically, if you can come to the United States and you're in one of these countries for the past 14 days before trying to come to the United States, you won't be able to. Now, who is excluded from the suspension? In other words, who can enter the United States even if they went to those countries or they're from those countries? So green card holders, any non-citizen national of the US, any non-citizen who is the spouse of a green card holder or US citizen, someone who is the parent of a green card holder or US citizen, and under 21 and unmarried. So you need to be the parent of a green card holder or a US citizen who's under 21 and not married to be allowed in. Any non-citizen who is the sibling of a US citizen or green card holder, as long as you, the non-citizen, are not married and under 21. A child, foster child, or a ward of a US citizen or green card holder. Someone who's traveling to the US at the request of the US government to help with COVID. Any non-citizen with what we call a transit visa, which is a C1, a D visa, which is a crew member, or a combination of the two, meaning you need to travel to the United States to board a ship, but in order to board that ship, you might have to fly from the United Kingdom to Florida, and in Florida, you will get off your plane and then board a cruise ship at which you will be working, as an example. Any non-citizen seeking entry under, there's a number of visas, A1, A2, C, the E's, the G's, and certain NATO visas. So that becomes very nuanced and very specific. Speak to a qualified immigration attorney before you get on a plane. Non-citizen armed force members or non-citizens who are spouses or children of armed forces members, and others who may serve a national interest by entering the US. So that's usually a US government position, or you're working with the US government in some capacity. This ban does not apply to land crossings. So if you're gonna walk across the border, that's a different issue. The CDC started requiring COVID testing of people flying into the US internationally starting on January 26, 2021. And all passengers 2 years or older must wear masks on all airplanes, ferries, trains, subways, buses, taxis, and any rideshare vehicles. With the COVID variants mutating, I think we may see more countries added to this list before we see it reduced or go away. There are two reasons. One, we know that the Trump administration had a terrible plan for combating COVID. They did not fund the states enough to be able to handle their own distribution, and they did not create a federal rollout of the distribution for the vaccine. They also did not order enough of the vaccine, so there are now shortages. Secondly, with the virus mutating, it is not clear if the current vaccines will protect us from different mutations. Scientists are worried it may be like the flu shot, where they can only target some of the strains of the flu each year. If we allow people in from anywhere and the strains mutate and vaccines are not effective against it, we are starting over again with the COVID problem. Thank you everyone who watched us today. We really appreciate those comments, likes, and shares of our videos. We want to help 5,000 people in the next 5 years to obtain legal status. And this is one way we can reach more people. If you have an immigration issue, you need help with us, call us. As always, stay healthy and be well.